When I was dating my son's father, he was always around. He always answered the phone. He We went out all of the time. He was loving. We went hiking. We went flying kites. We went on picnics. We played chess. We went to the health food store. We did shit together. We went out to eat. We went on road trips. We had a very good relationship. Then I got pregnant with my son, and things started to change a month after he found out. But throughout the relationship, I remember saying to him, I need you to make sure that your divorce papers are signed, sealed, and delivered. Because, Sidonia's telling, she's saying she don't want to be with you. You saying you don't want to be with her. Y'all need to go ahead and get y'all divorce papers signed so we can just go ahead and get married. You know what I mean? And he was asking me to pay for the wedding. When I factored in my son's father's behavior, he was putting on such a good performance, pretending he loved me. I never would have guessed it. It was such a good performance. I really thought dude was in love because he wasn't doing anything wrong initially. It wasn't until we started breaking up to where I started seeing the truth about who he was. And then he told me. He literally sat in front of me and just told me the truth about him. He told me. I was like, all this time? Girl, I never would have guessed it. Anyway. No, I did not say that. You say he's still there. No, you did not see a video from me saying I kept encouraging him to move on from his wife. No, don't come up here in the bullshit. Y'all are so full of shit. Don't come in here trolling and shit. Listen, in one of my videos, you never saw a video of me saying I kept encouraging him to leave his wife. What happened was, let's get it straight and stop fucking lying and spreading bullshit. Okay. So, from the very beginning, it was always, I'm not with her. You know what I mean? We broke up. We working on getting, we separated. We don't want to be together no more. And I was always like, okay, well, as long as y'all officially get y'all divorce papers signed, I'm going to fine. You know what I mean? She was also like, oh, it's over. It's over. She was like, I'm good. Like, yeah, we get our divorce papers signed. And he would ask me to help him to sign the papers. And I was just encouraging him to make sure he got his divorce papers signed because it didn't make sense for him to be living with another woman, like living with me, but has to sign his divorce papers. And there's plenty of people that do that. You know what I mean? That live with other people while they're still married to other people legally. But I didn't think that would be a good idea considering that I was a content creator and I have so many legal things I'm dealing with. So legally, it just made more sense for him not to be married, legally to her. And so I was just saying to him to make sure that the divorce papers were signed. That's the only thing I was encouraging him to do. And then I was like, if you don't want your divorce papers signed and you still want to be with her, just tell me that. That's all I was saying, like the whole relationship. I was like, you sure you done? As long as you sure you done, we can keep rocking. Are you sure you done? Are you sure you done? Are you sure you feel over and over? Are you sure? I never forced him into anything. I didn't encourage him to do anything. He did all of this shit on his own. He did what he wanted to do. And so when people could try to come to his defense and be stupid, it's weird. I did not say as soon as he saw the pregnancy test, he told you not to tell anyone. He did not say that. I never said that he said that. I don't know where you got that from. This is what I'm talking about when y'all come up with shit, you pulling shit out your ass. Listen, you want to hear the story about the pregnancy test? I will tell you the pregnancy test story. He was at work. He came home from work and I had already took the test and it was in the bathroom. And I told him to go in the bathroom. There's something in the bathroom I needed to see. He picked up the pregnancy test. And I could see him through the mirror because we were in a hotel and I looked across and I could see him through the mirror when he looked at it in the bathroom. So I'm looking at him through the mirror and he picks up the pregnancy test and he smiles. He has a smile on his face. Now, Before we even took the pregnancy test, I remember us having a conversation about my infertility issues because he had found out on social media that I was having a problem with infertility issues. So he came to me and I told him, if after a year, if after we've been married for a year, if I can't have your kids, I'm going to divorce your ass so you can go have kids, because I think you would be an amazing father. And I don't want to be the woman that doesn't give you any kids because you already spent 15 years with someone and y'all don't have any kids. And he told me he wanted 3 kids. So I was like, if after a year or two we don't produce a child, then I'm going to get a divorce so you can go have some babies, boo. And this was before I even got pregnant. And for some reason, I kept getting scared because my period kept coming on late every month for some reason. And so it was scaring me. And I kept saying, y'all think I'm pregnant, because my period kept like coming on late for some reason. And so anyway, when I did end up pregnant, I remember seeing him look at the pregnancy test and he was smiling. He came out the bathroom and I hugged him and we held each other and we kissed and he was happy. Or he was pretending to be happy, but he did a good job. And then we made love, we had sex, and it was fine. And then maybe like a couple of weeks after that, a month may have went by, that's when he started shifting. Like things started shifting in our relationship. So initially it wasn't like that. He started being a problem a little bit after that. I think when he started talking to Sidonia again, because he had to tell Sidonia, he had to tell her that he and I was having a baby. So, I wanted a son. I always wanted a son. I always wanted to be a son. I always wanted to have a son and husband. And I used to always just, ask God for a son and a husband. You know what I mean? If one of the questions you've ever had, right, if you are in a similar situation, if one of the questions you've ever had is, why does my son's father take care of his girlfriend's kids and not our kids? I know that it's a painful and frustrating situation, and it's completely understandable to feel like hurt and confused about it. I'm not hurt about it. I'm just a little bit confused, but then again, it's just like he's a ball of confusion in general, because the whole situation is like confusing. Even when we broke up, it was confusing. And the reason why it's confusing is because I think he was a liar and was never into me to begin with. And usually when you are in a situation with a man and it's confusing, or he's confusing, it's because you are being manipulated and lied to. So just remember that. Yes, I gave a natural birth. Lovely. Please understand that a lot of the times men don't take care of their kids. And they take care of their girlfriend's kids because of convenience and proximity. If he lives with her or near his girlfriend and her kids, it makes it easier for him to be involved with their lives than making the effort to be present for your kids. If you don't live in close proximity, some men like to take the path of least resistance. Okay. Then there's this thing about guilt and control. Sometimes men who abandon their biological children try to redeem themselves by stepping up for another set of kids, especially if the new relationship demands that. Or he could just be avoiding your kids because of the guilt of how he treated both of y'all. So when I think about my son's father, sometimes I think about he feels guilty. He can't face me because of how bad he treated both of us. Then there are some men out there who are being influenced by their girlfriends. Some women don't encourage their partners to be involved with their existing kids, and it's out of insecurity or jealousy because they want him to focus on their own family unit. So if it's a single mother and she's been raising kids alone herself, and a man comes along, the reason why these girlfriends, influence these men to not take care of their other kids is because they want that man to take care of theirs. And I think that's what Delulu is doing. Delulu wants my son's father to be there for her kids. She feels secure in that seemingly one family unit. So I am kind of like that thing that threatens it, because technically, if he was doing what he was supposed to do as a man, we would be one family union, one family unit. Yeah, confusion doesn't come from God. You're right. Confusion doesn't come from God. You're right. Also, emotional immaturity. He might not be emotionally capable of facing his responsibilities as a father, especially if it requires effort, patience, and accountability. And things a girlfriend's kids might not demand in the same kind of way. So the effort and accountability he would have to take dealing with me is more of a responsibility than it is of him and her kids. Okay. And then you have, like I said, perception, like image and ego. A lot of men who are terrible fathers, they don't want the world to believe that that's what they are. So for instance, if his girlfriend praises him for taking care of her kids, and he might be feeding off of that validation, and he might assume, he won't get that same level of admiration from me if he was doing it for his own kid. You see what I'm saying? Like, if he's doing what he's supposed to be doing with his son, he doesn't get the same response from me as he would from another woman whose kids are absent and he's coming to be the hero of her kids. So it's a different type of feeling there. So he probably needs that validation as a man. But at the end of the day, none of that, none of those reasons excuse his absence in my son's life. None of them. His choices are a reflection of his character and not my worth or my son's worth. And I'm doing the best that I can every single day. So justice will realize who was truly there for him. And that's me. I'm his mother. I've truly been there for him. And I'm never going to not be there for my son.